here's my impersonation of the captain from Cool Hand Luke. Now, what we have here is failure to communicate the importance of tightening your pedal on your bicycle. So what we've got here is we've got a gentleman that had his pedals replaced, and he didn't tighten them all the way. In fact, this left pedal here, I can just unthread this pedal with my fingers, and what happens is the pedals, whenever you're pedaling, will actually wallow out the crank arm. So super important to get your pedals tight. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you what to do if your pedal strips out the threads in your crank. If you're lucky, you can just retap the threads and you're fine. However, if you're not lucky, let's see, where did the pedal go? If there's not enough meat left in the crank, and whenever I say meat, I'm talking about material, usable material, there is something that you can get. It's a threaded pedal insert, and that's what we're going to be doing with this one, because this pedal just goes right on in and comes right on out. There's not enough aluminum thread. Let's take a look. So if you look carefully inside of there, there's just not enough thread left in the crank. So what do? What we have here is we have a unique little repair tool for your crank. This little front part, let's see, this part right here actually cuts the excess metal out of the crank arm, and then it starts to thread. What we're going to do is we're going to be putting this into the crank. First things first, let's secure the crank arm. I've done this several times before, and many times I have taken the crank off of the bike to put it in a vise. We're going to attempt to thread this while it's still on the bike. I'm going to get a pedal strap. These are very useful, and I'm going to secure the crank arm to the frame. Now, we're not going to be putting much pressure on this, so this should be fine. Crank arm is secured. We're going to be putting a little bit of this tenacious oil on the tool. This helps with the cutting process. And we're going to just start turning. And on the right side crank, you actually want to turn in a clockwise motion, meaning turning to the right. With some gentle pressure. This would help if I had somebody holding the wheel. In fact, hold on just a second. Now that I have my help to keep this bike from turning on me, my help is right here. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
Okay. Let's get started. We're going to add a little bit more of this cutting oil to the cutting tool. And are you ready to hold it? Because you're going to need to have two hands for this, son.
Okay, I might have to put my sparkling water down.
Yep. Alright, so here we go. That's much better. I'm able to put better pressure on there. And the threads are starting to bite in. And I'm just keeping gentle pressure, but constant pressure on this. We're going to be adding some more cutting oil. You actually can't use too much cutting oil. So we're going to drive it through. Looking pretty good. It's very important that you clean this tool up very good before your next job, because if you have any metal shavings in there, you can actually cause some issues. I'm going to thread this insert onto the pedal. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red Loctite onto the outside threads of this insert. Not a lot, I'm just putting it a little bit here, a little bit there, because it'll work its way around. And then I'm going to put a little bit inside there, just to be thorough. And then I'm going to thread this in. I'm just going to use a 15mm cone wrench because it goes in fairly easy. Okay. Now it's been several hours since I've done this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Dremel and I'm just going to trim the back side of this crank, because the insert, as you can see, is actually sticking past the crank, so we're going to clean that up. Well, now that we've got this done, we need to get the pedal, put some grease on the threads. This is important because it allows you to actually tighten it up very well without binding up. It also helps keep it from corroding. And we're going to thread this in. Now I can tell that this isn't perfect because the hole was damaged so much that as the tool was going into the crank arm, the hole wasn't round, it was actually a little oblonged, so the tap went in just slightly off, just a little bit, and it's unfortunately that's just part of the thing. We'll see how bad it is after I take it out for a test ride, or I should say when I take it out on a test ride. All right, let's give this a try. It's pretty good. It's a little better than I thought it was going to be. I do feel a small wobble to it, but I'm not real surprised because the hole was in such bad shape. I doubt that the customer will notice, but of course I will express my displeasure. I was going for perfect, and it's adequate, but I was going for perfect. Of course, if he doesn't like it, we can replace the crank. It's just going to cost him a whole lot more, so I'll give him the option. See, I can't even feel it anymore. So, alright. That's one job down for today. 50 others to go. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it informative. And please leave me a big thumbs up. Check out some other channels right over here. Please subscribe over here, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks.